Did you know that you can actually make money from your photos and you don't even need to be a professional photographer? They don't need to be amazing photos, and you may actually have some photos just sitting on your hard drive doing nothing that can earn you some cash. Now, I decided to make this video a few days ago when I woke up, checked my email, and there was an email notifying me that about $120 was going to be deposited into my bank account. Now, that money had come from some photos that people had used that I have listed on a stock photography website. So stock photography is something you really should think about maybe having a go at, because it produces a really good passive income, and you actually can use photos that are not getting used for anything else. Photos that you haven't even necessarily specifically gone out to produce for that purpose, but hey, you've got them there already. Why not upload them to a website? And if people want to use them for, I don't know, a blog post, an advertisement, a book cover, whatever, you're going to earn some money for that. So how does it work? Let me show you. So let's just say a restaurant wants to let people know on their website that they cater to birthday celebrations. So they might go to a site like Getty Images here, and they might search for blowing out candles on a birthday cake. So I'm just going to put in blowing out candles. And you get all of these images. And they can scroll through hundreds and hundreds of images that are related to birthdays that they can use. Let's go with this one. And then they can select that photo and use it however they want. Now, the price that they pay is going to depend on how they're going to use it, where they're going to use it, the size of the image, all kinds of things. So that's how someone might use a stock photography library. So let's talk about stock photography. But first, for those that are new here, let me introduce myself. My name's Adam, and I'm a documentary photographer, and I also run photography workshops. So stock photography is far from my main income, but it is a nice handy way to just make a little extra cash on the side. And stock photography is actually really great for two things. The first is that money, and it's always good to make extra money. Show me the money! But secondly, it can also help you improve and develop your skills as a photographer. Now, I'll talk about that in a moment, but first let's talk about the money, because, that's probably what most people are here for.
Dollar bills, y'all. Money is what I'm saying.
So I'm going to start by just taking you to the invoice for the month of September, which is the one I got the invoice for just recently. So this is the invoice. Now, this is with Getty Images. I have images in Getty Images, which are available for people to use whenever they need them, for a fee, obviously. So on this month, I got 3 instances of my photos being used. The first is a photo of Jade Emperor Temple, and the second, just up here, is a cupcake with blue icing and 1 candle. And then below, you'll see also the cupcake with blue icing and 1 candle. Now, if you look across to how much I actually made, the first column is how much Getty charged the client. So $25 for the first, $375 for the next, and then $242 for the third. Now, how much of that did I make? Only 20%. So $5 for the Jade Emperor Temple photo, $75 for the cupcake in the first instance, and 48 cents for the cupcake in the second. So Getty made $402.42. I only took $80.48 of that. So number one thing that you need to know is that stock agencies are going to take a very, very large cut of the money that they make from the photos. But think about it this way. If not for them promoting the image, finding the clients, and actually putting it in front of them, how much money would I be making from that photo? Would I be making anything? No, it'd just be sitting on my hard drive doing absolutely nothing. So 20% of the money that Getty can earn by using its massive client base is a whole lot more than 100% of the nothing that I would be making with that image otherwise. So yeah, it's a bit of a ripoff, absolutely. Is it highway robbery? Yes. But Faced with that option of either nothing or something, I'm going to take something, especially because it actually requires very little effort on my part to make that happen, because I've already taken the image for some other purpose. And if it hasn't been used, it's free to use for Getty. Now, different stock photography agencies are going to charge different amounts. They're going to take a different cut each time. So it's definitely worth shopping around for that. And that's something I'm looking at doing in the near future as well, once I'm not so busy with other things, is to actually shop around for some different stock photography agents. Now, this cupcake photo that made me $75.48 in September, which I didn't get until this month, what is that photo? Well, here's the photo. Such a simple photo. It's a cupcake with a candle that's lit on a white background. Is there anything amazingly technical about this photo? No, it's very, very simple photo. The important thing though is everything's in focus, it's clear, it's sharp, and for this one, there's plenty that people can do with it, because there's actually quite a bit of space around the cupcake as well if they want to add text for some kind of publication or something like that. Now, the reason that's there, I took this image when I was making an image for a magazine that I worked for. They had their first anniversary and they wanted a photo for that first anniversary issue of the magazine. The thing is that if I tried to upload this image of a cupcake with orange icing and an orange candle, that would be no good, because you cannot upload photos that are already being used for other purposes. Particularly with some stock photography agencies like Getty, where they have the requirement that it's exclusive. The image can't be in other stock photography licenses, and it can't be being used commercially anywhere else. But this photo of the cupcake with blue icing, which is actually the original color, is a different photo. This is not the same as the image used by the magazine. The colors are different. It's actually technically a different image. So therefore I could upload it to Getty. And this has been quite popular. This image has been used quite a lot of times, and it's made me money over quite a few, over a couple of years now. Every now and then I'll wake up to a notification, hey, there's some money going into your account. A lot of the time it's from a simple photo like this cupcake. Now, I only have 92 images that I've put onto Getty, and so to be able to make annually, maybe $400 or something like that from these images is not too bad, because there's actually not a large library that they're being drawn from. So if you uploaded a lot more images, there's a lot more chances that somebody's going to be using those photos. So I guess the question is, what do people actually use these photos for? Well, it's a range of purposes. I've seen my photos being used particularly a lot online, on websites, for news articles, on book covers or within books, product brochures, things like that. There's a whole range of purposes they can be used for. So when you're uploading photos, that's one thing to think about, is what would people actually be looking for? What do they want to use in their advertisements? What do they want to use in their news articles? For example, one of the very most popular images of mine that's been used by all kinds of people all over the world is just a photo of a pile of Chinese renminbi, the money in China. And it's just a stack of money. A simple image. It's not even that great an image, to be honest. I took it many, many years ago. I was moving back to Australia from China, and I needed to take the money that I'd earned there back to Australia in cash, because transferring money from China is an absolute nightmare. It's almost impossible. So I had this pile of money, and I thought, hey, when again am I going to have a big pile of Chinese yuan at my disposal? So I took a few photos just for the fun of it, just to record having that stack of cash. So I took all of these photos, but I thought, hey, why not upload one of them to Getty? And so I did. And it has been used by CNBC, it's been used by Harvard Business Review online, it's been used by Bloomberg Business Week, it's been used all kinds of publications. So it's been used a lot, particularly in news articles, because, hey, people are talking about the Chinese economy all the time. And what better to illustrate that than a pile of Chinese money? So that has actually earned me quite a lot of money. And I only just took it just for the fun of it. And I wasn't going to use it for anything else. It's just a personal photo for the fun. So I'm really glad that I uploaded that to Getty. The cupcake image also has been really popular. So think about what kinds of images people might want to use. And if you have some of those images already, you can try to upload them to a stock photography library. Definitely worth a try. The thing though is that I told you that it will help you improve your photography. The reason for that is you can't just upload any old photo. There are quality requirements, and it needs to be appealing to people to make them want to actually pay to use it. So in terms of focus, it needs to be sharp, it needs to be clear and in focus. Compositionally, it needs to be attractive, especially when they view the thumbnail. It needs to look good small because they're going to be browsing through hundreds of thumbnails and picking out the one that appeals to them. So make sure that your photo actually looks good small as well. And when you want to upload to a stock photography library, there are people who are going to curate that collection. So they will be looking at all of the submissions and determining whether the quality and appeal of the image is enough for them to actually make money from. So if they reject your image, that's actually in some ways a good thing, particularly early on, because they'll send you a comment about why it was rejected. And so if you then take that on board, take that as guidance in your learning process, in improving your photography, those comments can actually help you produce better images. And so you can try to retake the image or take that on board and make a better image. If that gets accepted, that's kind of confirmation that you're going in the right direction. So it can really help you improve as a photographer as well. So you just got to be ready for that rejection, maybe with some of your images. I've had plenty of images that didn't make the cut. Well, actually not that many, because I've kind of self-curated as well before I've uploaded them. But yeah, it's definitely something that kind of is a part of the whole thing. But there is a few things you need to be mindful of if you do plan to upload some images to a stock photography company. Now, the first is that you can't have any commercial symbols, any logos or trademarks that are visible in the photo. So if there is a brand name on a shirt, then you need to Photoshop that out before you upload it to the library. Otherwise, it won't be accepted. Another thing is that if you have people in the photos that are recognizable, you will need a model release for that to be used. So if you're taking photos, for example, maybe you're just a hobbyist taking some photos, some fashion type photos just to improve your fashion photography skills. If you're taking pictures with a model in them and maybe some of them don't get used for any other purpose, you decide, hey, why not try and upload that to a stock photography library? You'll need to get the model to sign a release saying that they give you permission for their image, their likeness, to be used in the photos for a commercial purpose. So that's something you need to keep in mind. You'll need a model release. You may also need a property release. If you take a photo of some famous location or a building or any, a restaurant interior, things like that, you may need the owner of that premises to also sign a release to allow you to use the photos for commercial purposes for that. In terms of how the images look, it just needs to be a really natural kind of edit. So no, extreme HDR looks or things that, don't make it look natural and authentic. So just keep it as simple as possible. Restraint is key when it comes to stock photography. I guess the first thing is you're going to need to know, hey, where can I upload these photos? What are some stock photography agencies that I can try? Well, there's a whole bunch of them. Getty is one of them. Now, the reason I like to have images with Getty is that you have very high profile clients. So I've had images used by, News Corp Australia. I've had them used by Lonely Planet. I always wanted to have images in the Lonely Planet, and through Getty, I had an image that was used by Lonely Planet. Surprisingly, it was actually this photo of a mojito with kumquat. So I have no idea what it was used for. And, with all kinds of travel photos that I have in Getty, I was surprised that this was the one that got used. But Getty also has a broad reach. This photo of a sunset on Wudang Mountain. A lot of companies in China have used this image and they've accessed it from Getty Images. So that's one reason that I'm with Getty, but there are a whole lot of others, and there are some that even pay as much as 50 or even 60% commission to the photographer as opposed to the 20% that Getty pays. So some stock photography companies worth checking out include Shutterstock, Alamy, Dreamstime, 123RF, Adobe Stock, Stocksy. So there's some to check out if you're interested. So that's pretty much all I have to say on the issue. Just a quick video to just make you think, hey, maybe this is a good idea, because, these images, I haven't uploaded anything new to Getty for probably 2 or 3 years, but I still make a fairly consistent income and it's completely passive. So this is something that you could enjoy as well. So definitely check that out. If you've got any questions, of course, feel free to ask me. And as my subscribers will know, I'm always happy to answer questions. I like to engage with my subscribers. So if you're not one of them, it'd be great to have you on board, and check out some of my other videos as well, photography related or things about Brisbane. Here's a couple that you may want to check out yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.